Hello, Studio Gaven employees and shareholders. My name is Melissa Hurley. I'm the Aflac agent for Studio Gaven. I've been working with you guys for about 8 years now. Dana and I talked earlier this month and decided it would be a good idea for me to do a video to kind of do the presentation that we would normally be doing in person. I'm still going to be in the salon next week. I'm bringing my coworker Cheryl with me. We're going to be there to answer any questions you have, enroll you in coverage, help you file claims, make changes to your existing coverage, all that stuff. Dana is great about making sure that I have a chance to talk with every single employee, but sometimes the employee before might go over, they have a lot of questions, something like that, or you may have a client waiting. Maybe you were running a little bit behind with your appointment, whatever the case may be. Sometimes we don't get the full time, so we thought putting everything in a video would make it a better use of your time. Of course, we're going to be there to answer any questions, and you can always call or email me at any time. I am your local agent, and I'm happy to help you guys. Last year, I know we had some issues with some of the disability claims, so I really wanted to address that to the whole group at once. So the first thing to understand about disability, it is going to cover a portion of your salary up to 60%. We're going to pay for up to 3 months if your provider says you have to be out that long. And we will pay for when a physician takes you off work for any illness, off-the-job injury, and maternity after 10 months. If you get hurt at work, that's going to be workers' comp. When it comes to the salary that you cover, you guys are different than any of my other accounts in that you get really significant pay increases. I work with some other salons that maybe get $1 raise, banks that get 25-cent raises per year. So you guys are in a different category than them. So while we do want to make sure that you're getting as much as you can from your disability, I just need you to understand what the waiting periods are when it comes to that. So the number of units are the dollar amount that Aflac is going to pay you when you're out on disability. If you add units, you've had a raise, you've been there a couple years, you want to increase what that payout would be if you went out on disability, that is subject to a waiting period. When you use disability for maternity leave, you have a 10-month waiting period, meaning you have to have the coverage for at least 10 months before you can file disability on that. If the baby is born and you have not had the coverage for 10 months, Aflac is not going to cover that. Same with additional units. Let's say the salary that you were at, your monthly disability amount was $1,500. You've been there a couple of years, had some good raises, and now your new disability amount is $2,500 a month based on your salary. Number one, you're going to have an increased premium. You're going to be paying more for that coverage. Number two, when you add those additional units, that extra money that Aflac will be paying you while you're out on disability, it is subject to a waiting period. So for maternity, that's 10 months. Let's say your old disability amount was $1,500. I meet with you in March. You increase it to $2,500 effective April 1st. You have to have that in place for 10 months before Aflac is going to pay those additional benefits. If you go out on disability for maternity within that 10-month period, they are going to pay you at that old rate. I just want to make sure everybody's clear on that and that I'm saying it to the whole group. The other coverage that we are going to be offering, same as all the years in the past, but I just want to give you a little information about it. I know it's a ton of information and it's been a year since you've heard it. So the accident is a 24/7 coverage. You're covered around the clock, on the job, off the job, at home. Even if you get hurt at work and have a workers' comp claim, you can file on our accident policy. So this policy is going to pay you for seeking treatment from an accidental injury. We pay everything from an ER visit to a surgery, inpatient hospitalization, follow-up visits with your doctor, physical therapy. If you have to end up in a wheelchair and have to make adjustments to your home, there's a benefit for that. Literally anything you can think of to deal with treating that accidental injury. It also has a $60 wellness benefit and a $40,000 accidental death benefit. Speaking of wellness benefits, I have my little list here of people who may have wellness benefits available. So you guys are paying into these policies every paycheck, so you might as well take advantage of these things. If you've had a visit that qualifies, and I can talk with you one-on-one, but it's basically any preventative care that you may have received. On the accident policy, you can claim that once a year in the amount of $60. In just a minute, I'm going to talk about the cancer policy. That one also has wellness benefits. So a $70 mammogram and a $75 screening that you and anyone that you cover on that policy can claim every year. So I just kind of went through and saw who had wellness benefits not filed. I can talk more in depth with you when I'm there in person, or you can call me or send me an email. I'll give you my contact information at the end of the video. But some people that have wellness out there that we need to get claimed for you. Sarah Cruz, we talk about this every year, but I don't think we've ever filed them. So all I need from you guys to file those, you can file it on a paper claim, you can go to our website, or you can use our app right from your smartphone. If you want me to, I can file them for you as well. So Sarah, let's talk about yours. Carol, Labriana, Melissa, Casey. I know we've spoken recently, but we'll recap and see what you still have available. LaDonna, Jim, Kelly, Amber, Olivia, Abigail, Lisa. Again, I know we just spoke this week, but we can reassess and see where you're at. Angelique, Ivory, Allie, Crystal, Erica, Gavin, we just spoke this week and got some filed for you. Victoria, Alex, and Jonathan. I also made a note of some people that have had their disability coverage for a long time and haven't ever made any changes to it, haven't added any additional units. You don't have to if you don't want to. The more money you make, the more you're able to claim while you're out on disability. But if you say, my old amount entitled me to $1,500 a month, that's good enough while I'm off work for 3 months. I have somebody else in the household that could help me with bills. I have savings, something like that. You don't have to increase it, but you may be eligible for more benefits. Victoria, Lauren Keck, Ivory, Kelly, Melissa, and Labriana. So when Cheryl and I are there in person, meet with one of us and we can talk to you about that. Like I said, if you don't want to increase it, you don't have to, but you may be eligible for some more money. The next policy that we're offering is our hospital coverage. So if you're thinking of using the Aflac benefits for disability for maternity, that's one time you're going to be out of work for at least 6 weeks, and you're going to be hospitalized. So adding the hospital policy with the disability is a great fit for maternity. The way the hospital policy works is we pay a $1,000 lump sum if you are hospitalized for at least 23 hours. This policy will also pay you $100 twice a year if you go to the emergency room for any reason. There's a couple riders we can add to this policy that will pay a daily hospitalization, pay towards surgery, MRIs, things like that, but we'll talk to you about that on a one-on-one basis if you're interested. The next one we're going to talk about is our critical care policy. So this pays for 10 diagnoses that we consider catastrophic. I'll have brochures with me when I'm there in person, but we're talking about serious diagnoses here, things like heart attack, stroke, coma, end-stage renal disease. This policy is going to pay you a lump sum, and then it also pays rehab benefits. What I mean by that is I have a policyholder who had a heart attack. We paid her the lump sum on the policy, and then she had to go to cardiac rehab. While she was in cardiac rehab, recovering from that heart attack, she had monthly benefits coming in. This policy also has a standalone ICU benefit. If you were to end up in ICU for any reason, it doesn't have to be one of the 10 from the list. You would have benefits under this policy. The last one is one that I think is really just so important, and that's our cancer policy. This is the policy that Aflac was created on. Unfortunately, I have several clients who have had to claim from this policy. If you have a family history, to me, it makes sense to put this one in place. But honestly, even if you don't have a family history, we're finding people that have no family history of cancer being diagnosed. It's just one that we hope you enroll in and never have to use it, but you have it, and you have that peace of mind of knowing you have that coverage. This policy is going to pay you a lump sum of $4,000 on your initial cancer diagnosis. Every year that you have the policy and don't have a cancer diagnosis, that $4,000 payout is going to increase by $500. Just like the accident policy, this one pays benefits every step of the way for your treatment. So if you have to have chemotherapy, radiation, anti-nausea medication, blood transfusions, surgeries, you end up hospitalized, you have to travel more than 50 miles for your treatment, and you know, have to go outside of that 50-mile range, we'll reimburse you mileage. If you want to have a loved one with you while you're receiving treatment, this is also a benefit on the accident policy. We'll pay towards their lodging. So really anything you can think of to deal with treating that diagnosis. If you lose your hair from your treatment and want to buy a wig, there's even a benefit for that. The cancer policy covers your dependent children for free if you cover yourself. We're just really committed to fighting childhood cancer, so they added that to the policy for you. This one has wellness benefits, $75 for a screening, $70 for a mammogram. Like I said, we went through the list of who may have some money due to them out there, so I'm happy to go over that with you in person, face-to-face, or you can email me, call me. We can get that figured out for you. We will be there next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and if needed, Thursday. Please, if you have disability claim, or I'm sorry, if you have any claims to file, you know, most doctors and hospitals now have a portal. You can go there and get that information. You can take a screenshot or snap a picture of it with your phone and submit it right through the app. Really easy. I'm happy to walk any of you through that. I'm happy to file it for you, whatever you need me to do. Looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Like I said, I just wanted to get this information out to you so we're all kind of starting from the same place and we can answer any questions you have once we get there. See you guys next week.